Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video we've got a super interesting question. The question is, which one of the following best sums up Ehrlich and Raven's argument in the classic 1969 paper? So this is a passage which was based on speciation. It talked about Ernst Mayr and his theory and what Ehrlich and Raven countered it with. So this was what the passage was about. Now this question is asking you, what is their argument? Which of the following options best sums up their argument? So you've got to give the best point or the best summary for Ehrlich and Raven's argument, right? Now if you refer to the extract from the passage from which this question is derived, right, where the ideas of Ehrlich and Raven are highlighted, Ehrlich and Raven argued in the paper that gene flow was not as predictable and as ubiquitous as Mayr and his cohort maintained. Evolutionary divergence, so this is point number one. Evolutionary divergence between neighboring groups and a population was probably common. Point number two, they also asserted that isolation and gene flow were less important to evolutionary divergence than natural selection. And then he mentions the factors of natural selection. Now if you look at Ehrlich's and Raven's argument, what is it based on? So if you ask a question to yourself, what is this argument? I will label it as at ENR's argument. What is it based on? Is it based on the fact that gene flow was less important to evolutionary divergence than natural selection? Is it based on this fact? Let's label it fact number 3, which has been given to us. Or is it based on fact number 1, that gene flow is not as predictable and ubiquitous as Mayr and cohort? Remember, the basis of the argument is statement number 3. Right? Their argument is based on statement number 3. Statement number 1 is the fallout of that, right? They basically argued that natural selection is the important criteria. Now, the moment they argued that natural selection was the important criteria, this led to the fact that Mayr's argument was cancelled out, right? So their argument is based on the fact that gene flow was less important to evolutionary divergence than natural selection. Let's go back to the options now, right? Options are: option number A, Ernst Mayr was wrong in identifying physical separation as the cause of species diversity. Problem with this option, it places focus on Ernst Mayr and what he did wrong. We need to find out the basis of their argument, right? There's a divergence now. Checkerspot butterflies in the 50-acre Jasper Ridge formed 3 groups. This is a fact, right? This is not the summary for their argument, right? This is not the basis for Ehrlich's and Raven's argument. So this is just a fact in the passage, ruled out. While a factor, isolation was not as important to speciation as natural selection. Now this is the basis upon which Ehrlich and Raven's argument is based on, right? So this is the basis upon which they operate, and this is what helps them cancel out Ernst Mayr. Hence this is the correct answer. Option number D, gene flow is less common and more erratic than Mayr and his colleagues claimed. Again, the focus shifts to whom? The focus shifts to Mayr and his colleagues. But whom do we need to focus on? We need to focus on E and R in the given case, right? Hence the correct answer here is option number C and not option number A or D. A and D make the same mistake. They place focus on Ernst Mayr. Where do we need to place all our energy? Where do we need to focus on? We need to focus on Ehrlich and Raven's argument. We find that in option number C. Hence that is the correct answer. So this was the correct way of evaluating this question. This question is a great one, as well as the passage is a terrific one. The passage analysis video for this question is an absolute must watch. So please go through that. You will learn a tremendous amount from that particular video, right? There's a lot to learn from that video. Thank you very much for watching this video and happy learning.